I'm Jennifer Kaufmann-Buhler. I am an associate professor of design history at Purdue University. One of the assignments that I've been doing for the last 5 years or so in my classes is a mini-Zine project. In this assignment, students are given a collection of objects or a collection of typographic type specimens and asked to develop a mini-Zine that explores different aspects of these objects or sources. Around 2019, 2020, I sort of got this idea to bring sketching as a kind of regular exercise into my class. And this works really well for design students. Design students are learning how to sketch. This is something that their studios often emphasize. And in fact, one of the things actually both art and design students are often told is they need to draw more, they need to sketch, they need to sort of think of that as part of their creative practice. I wanted students to learn to study objects and other materials through close looking. And I realized that sketching was more than a sort of creative exercise, but that was actually an analytical exercise that you could learn through close looking. And that is how I kind of came to this mini-Zine assignment. I realized that the mini-Zine could be a way to not only integrate this practice of sketching, but help them sort of recognize it as an analytical tool. Because in the mini-Zine, no matter what the focal point is of that mini-Zine, students are being asked to assemble this material, to reflect on it, to analyze it in different ways. So when I first started this and first had the idea, I thought, well, is this gonna work? So I sat down and I learned about mini-Zines. I never made a mini-Zine myself when I first did this. And actually this is the very first one that I made, which is the typographic mini-Zine. And then I did one for an object. This is a Biedermeier chair. And then I did one for the designer Eva Zeisel. But what's great about this assignment is that my students are so much better at drawing than I am, that the results of them are just like far superior than anything I could have myself made, which is part of what makes it so fun. So I really enjoy that part. Like what I imagined for the project and how the students have taken that project has far exceeded not only my skill set, but also even my expectations from the beginning, from when it started. And of course, now I have all these great examples. So the work only gets better and better because I'm able to show students examples from previous years that are really excellent, and then that kind of pushes them. So this particular example by Ali Upton, titled Time in Triangle Form, is focusing on one of the 18th century examples. This is an 18th century clock. She's looked at its structure and form, which has this very distinct obelisk-like shape, which she discusses in some detail in her analysis and sort of considers it in relationship to neoclassical design. She considers the kind of craftsmanship of the clock and thinking about the kind of luxurious aspects of it as a very expensive object. And then she also thinks about the science and technology of the clock, and specifically the clockness of the clock, which uses a very distinct typeface that's actually based on the work of Benjamin Franklin. So this is just a really beautiful example. The other thing I will say about a project like these zines is that they are not just demonstrations of learning. They are themselves tools for learning. And I think that's an important thing of how I think about how I teach, which is that, the assignments should be facilitate a kind of discovery. The process of trying to sketch and analyze that work itself makes them sort of see it more clearly and understand it better. So it sort of slows everything down. It forces that kind of attention that I think a lot of us don't get as much in our kind of world of so many screens. So there's something really lovely about the kind of handmade nature of these, about the kind of personal quality of them that makes them really special.